Hello everyone, my name is Ezekiel Solorzano, but you can call me Zeke. Today I'll be going over the history of skateboarding. Now besides gaming, skateboarding is another one of my passions and hobbies, so let's get right into it. Skateboarding has evolved in many ways through the years. One way is simply by changing the shape of the board. Old boards were just flat, while boards nowadays are concave on both sides. This really made the difference in what skaters were able to do back then compared to what skaters are able to do now. Skateboarding started in the 1950s. The idea of skateboarding actually came from the minds of Californian surfers. Since this was the beginning of skateboarding, there weren't any companies that were creating professional boards. People just put on a pair of skates under wooden planks. As you can see, there's a big similarity between the two sports. When there weren't any waves at the beach, surfers just skated down the street. The term sidewalk surfing was created because of it, since surfers were just riding the waves of the street. By the time it was the 60s, skateboarding has reached its peak. The first real competitions were starting to be held by companies. Even though skateboarding was just starting to become a thing, in 1965, skating had started to die down. In the 1970s, skateboarding started to make a comeback. This was due to the invention of urethane wheels. This made the feel of skateboards become smoother since wheels before then were made of clear steel. This really made it hard for skaters since it didn't really provide any traction. This was also when the ollie was invented. In 1978, Alan Gelfand invented the ollie. This was a maneuver that revolutionized skateboarding. He slammed his foot on the back of his board while he was going up a ramp to pop himself into the air. Later on, Rodney Mullen was the first to do this trick on flat ground only. In the 80s and 90s, street skating was starting to become more popular than vert skating. This was around the time that skateboards were taking different shapes as well, making it easier for people to do tricks. VHS made it possible for skaters to record videos and share them with the world, and in '95 ESPN held the first ever X Games. There are three main categories of skateboarding. I will go over each one and talk about a skater that is well known for each of the three categories. The first one is freestyle skating, which Rodney Mullen is very well known for. Second is vert, in which Danny Way is a beast at, and last is street skating with Chris Cole as the main focus. Freestyle skating is one of the oldest styles of skateboarding. It was very popular from the 60s all the way up until the 90s. A freestyle skater would only need a smooth flat land to do his tricks. He could either be in motion or completely stationary, depending on the tricks he would do. Rodney Mullen is known as the godfather of skateboarding. His focuses were on freestyle skating and street as well. If you ask any skater about him, they will know who you're talking about. Rodney Mullen forever changed and revolutionized skateboarding all by himself. Rodney Mullen started skating at the age of 10. By the time he was 13, he had turned into a professional skateboarder. He had won his very first skate competition he had ever entered, and on top of that, he has won 34 out of 35 freestyle competitions during his whole career. The way he had revolutionized skateboarding was by what he was able to accomplish on his board. Without him, skateboarding wouldn't be what it is today. He had invented a great number of tricks by himself. At one point, 9 out of 10 tricks were actually created by him. Next up is vert skating. Every time you see someone skating in a pool, a half pipe, or even a mega ramp, they are all defined under vert skateboarders. Vert and freestyle were the two main styles when skateboarding was invented. There are many great vert skaters out there, like Bob Burnquist, Steve Caballero, and Stacy Peralta. But to this day, my favorite of the vert skaters is Danny Way. Danny has accomplished a lot during his career, and I'll be going over a few of his achievements. For starters, Danny Way has tricked over the Great Wall of China. Can you believe that? That thing is huge. He was also the first skater to win Skater of the Year award twice. He also has some world records, one being for going over 73 miles an hour on his skateboard. As the name makes it obvious, street skating is a style where skaters take to the streets to do their tricks. This can involve skating in plazas, down stair sets, and basically anywhere. Chris Cole is who I chose for street skating, and he is my favorite skater of all time. Chris Cole was who inspired me to skate. I remember being at a friend's house watching the Maloof Money Cup skate competition, and he was the one who came out on top. He has many accomplishments as well. He will forever be my favorite skater. Just like Danny Way before him, Chris Cole was the second skater to win Skater of the Year twice. He has won King of the Road competition 3 years in a row as well. On top of that, he also won 3 Maloof Money Cups, each with a $100,000 grand prize. Well, that was a short history of skateboarding and those who are legends. Even to this day, skateboarding is an ever-changing sport with new people coming in every day. The only question is, who's next? Well, that is all for my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.